Hi, today we're going to learn how to use VPN to stay secure and private online. Wow, this is a tough job. Just kidding. When you use NordVPN, all it takes is just a single click. See for yourself. Click, and you're browsing securely on public Wi-Fi. Click, your ISP can't see what you do online. Click, and you're in a different country. Well, virtually. Any device you have there, NordVPN has you covered. Everything else is just details. But if you care to know more, NordVPN has more than 5,000 servers all over the world. It protects your sensitive data with advanced encryption, shields you from malware and phishing sites, and keeps no logs of your online activity.
Click link in the description and get 68% discount for your first order. Before riding, know the stats. The tallest drop on Expedition Everest, Legend of the Forbidden Mountain, is 80 feet, and the coaster reaches a top speed of 50 miles per hour. It also runs for 2 minutes and 48 seconds. Know the height requirement. Riders of Expedition Everest, Legend of the Forbidden Mountain, are required to be at least 44 inches tall. If you're traveling with a member in your group who does not meet that height requirement, that doesn't mean you cannot ride this ride. Walt Disney World offers a program called Rider Switch. This means that one member of your group can ride while you wait with the non-riders. When that member is done, you will be able to ride. As an added bonus, you won't have to wait in the regular line. Know where the ride is located. It is located in the Asia section of Disney's Animal Kingdom, which is located towards the back of the park. Check the wait time for the ride. On non-busy days, the wait time could be as low as 20 minutes. However, on busier days, the wait time could reach as high as 120. Therefore, it's best to be prepared for all sorts of wait times. Generally, the wait time will be longer if the ride was down earlier in the day. Consider the single rider line if you don't want to wait in a long line, and if you don't mind getting split up from your group. However, keep in mind that riders must be at least 7 years old to be in the single rider line. If the wait time is extremely high and you don't want to get separated from your party, consider getting a Fast Pass Plus and returning later with your group. Getting on the ride. Walk through the queue and notice the little details. The queue and surrounding area of Expedition Everest, Legend of the Forbidden Mountain, is extremely detailed, and it can be fun to notice the details. The totem poles in front of the ride were handcrafted by Nepalese craftsmen. Take a look at the funny height requirement, which more specifically than 44 inches, is 1 Yeti foot tall. You can find Nepalese Coca-Cola bottles throughout the queue. Many of the climbing gear in the queue is authentic, with some being taken from the base of Mount Everest. Have a good amount of patience. The queue can be quite lengthy to some, even if there is no wait for the ride, so you'll likely have a lot of queue you will need to walk through before you can get on the ride. Note you'll be asked how many are in your group when you get close to the end of the queue. Therefore, if you have a larger group and you're at the front of it, be sure you have an accurate head count. The number of people in your group will determine which row or rows you'll be asked to wait in. There are 2 people per row. Know that the front seat can be quite a thrilling experience, so if you're not up for that big of a thrill, ask a cast member at the end of the line if you could not be placed in the front row, and they'll usually allow it. Know the ride vehicle. It is styled like a steam train, and as stated above, there are 2 seats in each row. Once you get into your seat, you'll have a snug lap bar to pull down, and there is no seat belt. Wait for the ride operators to complete their safety checks and enjoy the ride. On the ride, know how the ride starts off. There is really no big takeoff, and you start off slow and go down a tiny hill. There is then a short turn before your first lift hill. This means you'll be able to have some time to prepare yourself for the more thrilling portions of the ride. Realize that you do go backwards on this ride. Towards the middle of the ride, you'll come across broken track, supposedly ripped up by a Yeti. This is when you'll start going backwards. At the end of the backwards section, you'll encounter a Yeti projected towards the side of the cave. Know that the big drop comes more towards the end of the ride. So once again, you will have time to prepare yourself for this moment of intense thrill. Take note that you do get your picture taken on this ride. This occurs just as you're coming out of the mountain and going down the biggest drop of the ride. The camera is going to be on your right-hand side. You can also purchase your ride photo after you exit the ride. Know how this ride ends. The ending of this ride is fairly mellow. After a turn out of a cave, you come to a complete stop, and that is when you pull into the station to get off of the ride.